Hi guys, and welcome to part 5 of the law on extinguishment of obligations. Today we're going to talk about confusion or merger. Okay? So if you've been enjoying my videos and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. Okay? For my regular viewers, please be reminded that this is merely for educational or informative purposes and is not meant as a substitute for proper legal advice. And for my students, please remember that this is not a substitute for studying and understanding the law. Okay? Now let's go to confusion and merger. This is the meeting in one person of the qualities of the creditor and debtor with respect to the same obligation. In other words, the debtor becomes his own creditor, and therefore enforcement becomes absurd. Because if you are your own creditor and you are a debtor, how will you enforce payment from yourself? Okay? So the law in this case considers such confusion or merger as a mode of extinguishing obligations. Okay? So very quickly, what are the requisites in order for there to be a valid confusion or merger? First, the merger of the creditor and the debtor must be in the same person. Okay? The qualities of the creditor must not have been transferred to a third person, and neither should the qualities be transferred from the debtor to a third person. Okay? It should be the qualities of the creditor and the qualities of the debtor are merged into one. Okay? In the same person. Okay? Second requisite, it must take place between the principal creditor and the principal debtor. When I say principal, there are co-debtors, there are co-creditors. Those are not the ones contemplated by confusion or merger. Okay? In order for there to be valid confusion or merger, the merger must take place between the person of the principal creditor and the principal debtor. Third, okay? The confusion or merger must be complete or definite. Now, let me just clarify this. This requisite does not require that the obligation be totally extinguished. No, okay? What this refers to is that the transferring of qualities of either the creditor or the debtor into the same person, that is what must be complete. In other words, all the qualities that would make a creditor under that obligation must have been transferred to the debtor. Okay? Whether or not the obligation has been totally or partially performed, no? Okay? So again, what should be complete is the transfer of the qualities and not necessarily the entire obligation. Okay? Next principle. Okay? Now, the merger or the confusion of rights of the principal creditor and the principal debtor will benefit their guarantors. Okay? Who is a guarantor? He is a person who stands to answer for the debt of the debtor in case the debtor is unable to pay. Okay? We will be talking about guarantee in a different vlog, no? Let us just understand for now that the guarantor is a person subsidiarily liable, meaning he will only be liable after the principal debtor is held to be unable to pay. Okay? So, in this case, if the person of the principal creditor and the person of the principal debtor have merged, then the guarantors are relieved of their responsibility. They no longer have to fulfill the duties of being a guarantor. But is the converse correct? No. Okay? The merger of guarantor of a creditor and the guarantor of debtor in the same person does not affect the principal and principal creditor and the principal debtor. Okay? That does not work. It is only when the characters of the principal creditor and principal debtor are merged that the guarantors are benefited. Okay? Next, what happens in case there is confusion in a joint obligation? Okay? Remember that in a joint obligation, a debt or an obligation is divided into as many obligations as there are creditors and debtors. Okay? So each is only liable for their proportionate share. I will be discussing joint and solidary obligations in another video. Okay? But for this purpose, in case condonation has happened in a joint obligation, since the debtors are only liable for their proportionate share, that portion pertaining to the joint debtor is the only portion that is extinguished. The other portions pertaining to the other co-debtors are not extinguished. Okay, what about in solidary obligations? Remember, in solidary obligations, there is only one debt. Okay? So in case that singular debt has been condoned, then the obligation itself is extinguished without prejudice to the rights of the debtors and the creditors amongst each other. Okay? So, that's it for confusion or merger. A very brief discussion on extinguishment of obligations with regard to confusion and merger. Okay? So, thank you for watching. I hope you have picked up a thing or two. Please watch out for my next video. Bye!